I Today I'm talking about episode 11. This is All the Best Cowboys Have Daddy Issues, which I don't know how that's going to look on the thumbnail. This is Jack's second flashback episode at this point. Naturally, he's the first character to get two flashback episodes. It's kind of interesting to think of all the characters who haven't had flashbacks yet, and he's gotten two. We haven't gotten a flashback for like Hurley or Michael or uh, Boone and Shannon. But I gotta say, this is a phenomenal episode. Like really, like this has got to be one of the best episodes of season one as well. Up there with like Walkabout. There's just so much that this episode does, and it does everything really well. Obviously at the core of it, you have uh, Jack and Locke trying to track down Ethan and Claire because it builds right up from the reveal that there's somebody who wasn't on the plane amongst them, and of course, I guess clarifying that it was Ethan, though I suppose everybody assumes that Ethan was the one we're talking about. But yeah, it begins right there with assuming that Ethan wasn't on the plane. Jack and Locke go running out for Claire and Charlie, find that they were taken, so they end up forming a search party, which includes Kate and Boone there as well. So that's like the main thing there, the main focus, and eventually it really just focuses more on Jack and Kate following Ethan because Boone and Locke like kind of start wandering on their own there because they follow the fake trail. Uh, and then you have the flashback as well, which is really good flashbacks. Honestly, I've said this before, but sometimes Jack doesn't have the strongest flashbacks. I feel like we all know which episode in season three I'm referring to, but these flashbacks it might not do a whole lot for Jack's characterization, but it is crucial stuff for his backstory, his relationship with his father, who is it's a very important relationship in this show, and I've always said that Christian Shepherd is one of the most important side characters on the show. If there was anybody who deserved a centric episode, it was him. Of the people who didn't get one, naturally, I mean, uh, so just getting this insight into the relationship and what caused this falling out that would lead to his father going to Australia. That's it's all key stuff there. Uh, and I mentioned that he spent some of the time with Locke, which I thought it was kind of interesting how the only real interaction that Locke and Jack have had for the most part has been in Jack centric episodes. They haven't had a whole lot of significant interactions since that first talk in White Rabbit, and you can tell that Jack is clearly frustrated with Locke in this episode, and it's not Locke specifically as much as it is the situation itself. Jack is losing control and time, and he doesn't like this, and Locke is like this immovable object. He's like, I'm gonna take a 5 minute break. You don't like that? Shut up and deal with it. And like that like attitude just doesn't mesh well with Jack. Uh, and really, just like everything kind of works on this episode. I mean, the episode has these well done moments of humor as well. You get Walt Walt delivering the news to Sawyer, which is funny. You get Hurley and Walt playing backgammon, which is funny as well. Uh, and then even kind of like this minor stuff that they take the time, I suppose, out to do. Such as a reunion between Saeed and Sawyer after they parted ways, not on the best of terms, obviously. And then there's also all that stuff with Locke and Boone. Like they have some great conversations there with the telling him he works at a box company, and then they teach you how to predict the weather at a box something like. And of course, a little bit of clever foreshadowing at this point because I guess at this point they know Boone's fate because there's two moments which I kind of view as foreshadowing. I mean, maybe it was unintentional foreshadowing, but the first was that whole conversation about red shirts on Star Trek, about how the red shirts always die, following the captain. And I guess you could kind of consider Boone maybe a red shirt, but he's really not a red shirt. I mean the background extras they're red shirts like Scott and Steve. They're named red shirts who do die in a couple of one of them does die in a couple episodes. We'll talk about them. Uh, and then the second little bit of foreshadowing for Boone's fate is Shannon is worried that Boone hasn't come back yet, and Kate uh, reassures her by saying if there's anybody your brother's safe with on this island, it's John Locke, which ends up being the exact opposite case for this. But that's one of those moments that I really like on the show. Uh, just because I always like the moments where people speak positively about Locke. Like there's another moment. Uh, it might be Hearts and Minds, but it's when Jack is talking to Charlie and Jack's like questioning Charlie about what he thinks about Locke, and Charlie replies that if there's anybody that's gonna save us all, that it would be Locke. I mean, that's obviously it's a quick paraphrasing. I'll talk about that more when I get to the episode. But I don't know why I just really like these moments of people talking positively about Locke, especially since he has so many falling outs with people. Like he has a falling out with a lot of the characters on this show, like Jack's Jack and Saeed. That's gonna come pretty quick. Charlie will come in season two. I mean, Echo in season two as well. And I mean, like pretty much everybody in season three. He does a lot of things in season three that people don't care for. Uh, and then season four as well. I guess no, season four is more reactionary to some of the things he does towards the end of season three. He Locke does a lot of things that people don't like in this show. I mean that other characters don't like in this show, uh, and that often puts him at odds with a lot of characters. So I don't know. I just like these moments of people appreciating Locke in other terms. But I don't know. Like I said, this is just a phenomenal episode. I mean, everything really works really well. All there's it's I mean, heck, it's even got action. You get a fight scene. You get some emotional moments. You got Charlie's near death, where he's, he's pretty much gone at that point. I mean, like that's I'm sure everybody watching this episode thought that he died. I don't. I mean, I assume I did. I don't remember. Again, I was 9 years old. I don't have a lot of memories of seasons one or two, or three really. Definitely four, five, and six. I have more memories of my reactions to things that were happening. Of course, you know, six being most of it. Like I guess because I was aging, you can naturally assume that it kind of like goes down. Six being what I remember the most, one being what I remember the least, and you can fill in the blanks from there. But anyway, and of course, this is again you get the good instance of the life and death theme, which is an iconic theme for Lost, playing in there. So that was really good. So like, yeah, everything works. The story progression, uh, the story progression with Ethan and the others, and I mean, I can't believe I almost didn't mention it, but a pivotal discovery made at the end of the episode, which is the hatch, setting up like again, it's just very naturally flowing into these things. And flowing into these story arcs and whatnot. So next episode is whatever the case may be, which again, not great for these thumbnails. Uh, it's Kate's episode. I'm trying to remember what flashback episode it is for Kate. I I'm gonna assume it's the bank robbery episode. That's just what I'm thinking right there. I don't think it would be anything else. Again, Kate, like Jack, has some not great flashbacks. Even if they're in good episodes, so the flashbacks aren't great. Jack is unfortunate in having a not great flashback in a not great main story episode. Which I'll talk about that later. But yeah, so we got whatever the case may be next, and I will see you then.